My friends, there are moments in life when we encounter people who do not show us the respect we believe we deserve. They speak down to us. They dismiss our efforts. They ignore our voice. And if we're not careful, we may begin to doubt our worth. But I want to tell you today, your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. It is not decided by the applause or the approval of men. No, your worth is given by a higher hand, a sacred design, a divine purpose that no man can take away. Now, what do we do when others disrespect us? Do we strike back with harsh words? Do we repay insult with insult? No, that is not the way. That only multiplies the hurt and deepens the divide. There is a better way, a higher way, a way that leads not to destruction, but to peace, dignity, and growth. And it begins with how we choose to see ourselves. The first thing you must do is stand firm in your identity. You were created with value. You were crafted with intention, no matter what they say about you, no matter how they try to minimize your importance. You are not small in the eyes of the one who made you. You are not forgotten. The voices that belittle you do not define you. Let them talk, let them mock, but don't let their words settle into your soul. You walk with your head high, not in pride, but in quiet strength. A strength that comes from knowing who you are. Second, guard your heart. There is a temptation to let bitterness creep in. When someone disrespects us, it stings, it wounds, and over time, if we're not careful, that wound becomes infected with resentment. But bitterness never heals, it only poisons. So forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgive because your heart was not made to carry hate. Let it go, not to excuse the wrong, but to free yourself from the chain it tries to wrap around you. Third, respond with grace, not weakness. Grace is not letting people walk all over you. Grace is strength under control. It means you speak the truth in love. You set boundaries with kindness. You correct with humility. You say what needs to be said, but not with venom, not with vengeance. You walk away when you need to. You confront when it's right, but you always do so with a spirit that seeks healing, not harm. Fourth, choose your company wisely. You don't have to surround yourself with people who tear you down. Life is too short to walk through it with those who constantly sow doubt and disrespect. Seek out those who uplift, who challenge you to be better, not bitter, who see your worth even when the world overlooks it. And if you can't find them, be that person for someone else. Be the encourager. Be the one who listens. Be the one who values others, even when you have not been valued yourself. And finally, keep your eyes on the bigger picture. This life, these trials, they are not the end of the story. You may be disrespected today, but that does not mean you are defeated. The trials you face can shape you. The wounds can become wisdom. The pain can become power if you let it. Don't get lost in the temporary storm. There is a higher calling, a greater destiny waiting on the other side of your faithfulness. So when the disrespect comes, and it will, don't let it break you. Don't let it change you into someone you were never meant to be. Stand firm, guard your heart, respond with grace, walk with those who build you up. And remember always that your worth is not in what others think, but in who you were created to be. There is strength in that truth, there is hope in that promise, and there is peace for the soul who chooses to walk the higher road. Even in the quiet moments when no one sees the battle you are fighting, when the disrespect is subtle, an ignored word, a cold glance, a closed door, you are not alone. The trials that test your spirit also strengthen it. You see, every challenge is an invitation to rise above. Every insult is a chance to respond with dignity. It may not be easy, and there may be days when the weight feels too much to carry, but you are not carrying it in your strength alone. There is a quiet power in the person who refuses to let others dictate their character. The world says, strike back. The world says, prove them wrong. But there is something far more powerful in the one who chooses restraint over rage. You do not need to prove your worth to those who are blind to it. You do not need to fight to be seen. The greatest strength is not always shown in battle, but in the resolve to stay true when everything around you tempts you to bend. I've seen what happens when a soul turns bitter. I've seen good people become hard, cold, and closed off because they were wounded by the cruelty of others. But the answer to darkness is not more darkness, it is light. And the answer to disrespect is not revenge, it is the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their value does not decrease because someone else refuses to recognize it. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to keep walking. Not away in anger, but forward in purpose. You don't need to stay in places where you are not valued. You don't need to beg for kindness or plead for fairness. There is freedom in walking away, not to escape, but to protect the treasure within you. If someone cannot see your worth, it is not your job to shrink yourself to fit their view. It is your responsibility to live in the fullness of who you are, regardless of who chooses to acknowledge it. There are those who may try to make you feel small because your presence reminds them of something they lack. Insecurity often disguises itself as arrogance. Sometimes people tear others down because they are afraid of what they see in them. Strength, integrity, peace. Don't let their fear become your burden. Don't let their chaos become your storm. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to live truthfully, to love deeply, and to walk humbly. That is enough. And let me say this. When someone disrespects you, it does not mean you have failed. It does not mean you did something wrong. Sometimes it is simply a reflection of their own struggle. That does not excuse it. But it reminds us not to internalize it. If a mirror is broken, it cannot reflect a clear image. Some hearts are broken in ways we cannot see, and all they know how to do is project that pain onto others. But you do not have to absorb it. You do not have to carry it home with you. Lay it down and choose instead to walk in peace. There is a rare strength in staying soft in a world that tries to harden you. To be kind when others are cruel, to keep your joy when others try to steal it. And when you live this way, something happens. You become a light, a steady flame in a world of flickering shadows, and others will notice. They may not say it, but your example will speak louder than any words. You show them a better way, not through argument, not through force, but through the quiet, unwavering presence of someone who knows where their strength comes from. So, if you've been disrespected, if you've been ignored, insulted, or belittled, don't give up. Don't let it define you. Rise above it. And don't just rise. Lift others with you. Someone is watching how you handle this. Someone is learning from your strength, and one day they may face their own battle, and your example will be the light that helps them through. Keep your hands clean. Keep your heart pure. Keep your eyes fixed on what is eternal. Because the truth is, the people who matter will recognize your value, and even if they don't, you were never made for their applause. You were made to walk in purpose. You were made to shine in dark places. You were made to endure, and you will, so when the world disrespects you, let it be the very thing that drives you closer to truth, closer to grace, closer to strength. The road is narrow, the way is hard. But it leads to life, and along that path you will find peace that cannot be shaken, joy that cannot be stolen, and a purpose no man can take away. Keep walking, keep believing, and above all, keep your heart free. There is a kind of beauty that cannot be seen in the mirror and cannot be measured by the compliments of others. It's the beauty of a life lived with conviction, a life that does not bend to the winds of disrespect, that does not crumble when others scoff or sneer. That kind of beauty is rooted deep. It grows through trials, through heartache, through the long nights when you wonder if what you're doing even matters. But I promise you it does. And though others may not respect you today, your perseverance in love, in truth, in quiet strength, will speak louder than their disrespect ever could. There will be times when the voices of criticism seem to surround you like a storm pressing in from every side. You might hear, "You're not enough. You'll never make it. You don't matter." But listen closely, not to the noise, but to the still voice inside you, the voice that whispers, "You were made for more," the voice that calls you forward when the world pushes you back. That voice is the one that matters, and it often speaks in silence, in moments when the rest of the world turns away. Listen to it. Trust it. The danger of living for the approval of people is that their respect is often fleeting. One moment they lift you up, the next they tear you down. They cheer when you fit their image and criticize when you no longer serve their need. But you must be anchored in something deeper, because if your identity is built on human applause, then human rejection will destroy you. But if your identity is built on truth, then no amount of rejection can shake you. You become unshakable, not because life is easy, but because you have decided who you are and whose you are, before anyone else has a chance to define it. Many people will misunderstand you. That's just the nature of walking a higher road. They'll think your kindness is weakness. They'll mistake your humility for lack of confidence. They'll call your patience passivity. But don't let their misunderstanding distract you from your mission. They are not your judge. They are not your standard. You answer to something greater. Keep walking in the truth even when it costs you. Keep loving even when it isn't returned. Keep sowing seeds of peace even in soil that looks barren, because in time the harvest will come, and it will not be because others believed in you. It will be because you refused to give up on what was right. When people don't respect you, it hurts. We can pretend it doesn't, but deep down we all want to be seen, we all want to be known, we all want to be valued, and there is nothing wrong with that desire. It's written into our hearts. But we must be careful not to let that desire become a demand. We must not let it drive us to compromise, because there is something far worse than being disrespected by others, and that is disrespecting yourself just to gain their approval. You must learn to speak to yourself differently, speak with truth, speak with compassion, speak with the voice you've always longed to hear. Tell yourself, "I am enough, not because they said it, but because I believe it. I am worthy of love even if they withhold it. I am chosen even when I feel left out. I have something to give even if no one's asking." When you begin to live from that place, others' disrespect no longer has power over you. It may still sting, but it will not stop you. You do not need a crowd to fulfill your purpose. Some of the greatest work ever done was done in secret, in silence, in the unseen corners of the world. You may never be thanked by those you serve. You may never be praised by those you help. But your reward is not in their recognition. It's in the lives you touch. It's in the peace you keep. It's in the integrity you hold on to when everything around you tells you to let go. Don't let a cold world convince you to give up a warm heart. People may not respect your boundaries. They may push past your no. They may demand more than you can give, but you are allowed to draw the line. You are allowed to say, "This is where I end and that is where you begin." Respect starts with how you treat yourself. If you don't value your time, your peace, your worth, others won't either. Don't wait for someone else to show you honor. Walk in it, speak it over yourself, then live in a way that demands it, not with pride, but with quiet resolve. Sometimes the most powerful way to handle someone who disrespects you is to live a life that they cannot touch. A life so rooted in grace that their bitterness cannot spoil it. A life so rich in love that their hatred has no room to land. A life so full of purpose that their opinions become background noise. You don't fight fire with fire. You drown it with living water. You show them there's a better way, and maybe, just maybe, they'll change. But even if they don't, you'll still be free. I know there are some listening right now who have carried disrespect like a cloak over their shoulders for far too long. Maybe it started in childhood. Maybe someone you trusted looked at you and said you'd never amount to anything. Maybe a friend turned their back, or a boss treated you like you were invisible. And ever since then, you've been trying to prove them wrong. But hear me, you don't have to live in reaction to their words. You can live in response to truth. You don't have to spend your life trying to undo what someone else said. You can start building a new story right now. Not because they changed, but because you chose to. Do not let your heart grow hard. That's what the enemy wants, that you would become so bitter, so angry, so full of resentment, that you lose the tenderness that makes you who you are. But you are not called to live in anger. You are called to live in peace. Let them go. Let their words fall to the ground. You don't have to carry every stone they throw. You don't have to pick up every insult. There is strength in choosing your battles. There is strength in staying silent when you could shout. There is strength in walking away when you want to fight. And to the one who has been disrespected in silence, in the moments no one else saw, your tears matter. Your dignity matters. Your pain is not invisible. There is healing for you, not in revenge, but in release, not in proving them wrong, but in walking in the right. Let your life become the evidence. Let your joy become the answer. Let your peace speak for itself. The world does not need more noise. It needs more examples. People who choose the higher road, people who live not for approval, but for purpose, people who rise again and again, not because it's easy, but because it's right. And that person can be you, not tomorrow, not someday, but today, right now, because when you live with that kind of resolve, when you keep your heart soft and your mind steady, when you choose love over hate and grace over revenge, you become a light in a dark world, a city on a hill, and while others may not respect you, they will be drawn to the strength they see in you, even if they never admit it. You don't have to be loud to be heard. You don't have to be aggressive to be strong. Your life, lived with integrity, will speak volumes. Keep walking in truth. Keep standing in grace. Keep holding onto peace. And let your quiet courage be the answer to every voice that ever tried to tell you that you were not enough. Because the truth is, you already are. You always have been. And when you finally understand that you don't need the world's respect to live with honor, you are free. Free from the burden of needing to prove anything. Free from the cycle of disappointment. Free to live fully and to love deeply, even in the face of rejection. There's a strange and beautiful power that comes when you release the need to be validated by those who cannot see your value. You begin to live not in reaction, but in revelation. You move from bitterness to blessing, and your soul finds rest. Not everyone who crosses your path is meant to walk with you. Some are there to teach you, even through pain. Some are there to test you, not so you will fail, but so that your character will be refined. It's in the fires of disrespect and misunderstanding that some of the strongest steel is forged, and yes, you are being shaped for something more than what they can see. So don't curse the fire, let it do its work, let it burn away the need to be liked, let it refine your motives, let it clear your vision, because when you come through, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more anchored than ever before. One of the most challenging things to accept is that some people will never respect you no matter how kind you are, how competent you are, or how much you do for them. It's not about you, it's about something in them. And trying to earn their approval is like pouring water into a bottomless well. It will never be enough, so stop trying, not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Give your energy to those who are thirsty, not to those who refuse to drink. Share your light with those who walk in darkness, but don't chase those who mock the flame. There is a better use of your time, your heart, your gifts. Pour them into places where they can grow. Plant your seeds in soil that will bear fruit. Sometimes that means walking away from familiar faces and finding new ground. That takes courage, but your life is too precious to waste on those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your heart is too valuable to leave unguarded, and your calling is too important to be slowed down by people who do not see what's in you. Even in silence, your life can speak volumes. Your restraint in the face of insult is a sermon. Your kindness in the face of cruelty is a message. Your peace in the middle of the storm is a testimony. And your decision to keep moving forward with grace in your heart and purpose in your steps. That is strength, real strength, not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that builds legacies. Do not let the noise of disrespect drown out the song of your calling. Keep singing even if your voice shakes. Keep building even if no one else joins you. Keep showing up even if no one claps. The applause of heaven is louder than the silence of men. And when your life is over, it won't matter who respected you, but who you lifted, who you loved, and how faithfully you walked the path laid before you. Sometimes the greatest battles are not the ones fought with swords or words, but the ones fought in silence, in the hidden place of the heart where forgiveness is chosen over bitterness, where compassion is extended instead of contempt, where the decision to do right costs you something real. And yet, those are the victories that heaven celebrates. They are the ones that echo through eternity, long after the voices of critics fade away. If you've been disrespected, I want to tell you, your story is not over. That pain is not the period at the end of your sentence. It's a comma, a pause, a moment that will pass, and what comes next is up to you. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can carry it like a burden, or you can use it as a bridge to something greater. The choice is yours, and know this. There is someone who sees every tear you've shed in private, every time you bit your tongue instead of lashing out, every time you walked away instead of fighting back, every time you chose peace over pride. That does not go unnoticed. It is not forgotten. There is a reward for those who choose the higher road, even when it costs them something, especially when it costs them something. You are not weak for wanting love. You are not fragile for needing kindness, but you are strong when you give it anyway, when you sow good into hard ground, when you choose to be the kind of person this world desperately needs but rarely sees. That kind of strength is not loud, it's not flashy, it doesn't trend or go viral, but it lasts, it changes lives, and it honors the one who called you to it. So keep going, keep showing up with your whole heart. Keep speaking the truth even when your voice shakes. Keep loving when it hurts. Keep hoping when it feels foolish, because there is more for you, more joy, more peace, more purpose. It won't always be this hard. You won't always feel this lonely, and one day you'll look back and see that every step you took, every time you chose grace, every time you rose above the disrespect, it all led you to exactly where you were meant to be. And it was worth it, every single time. There will come a time when you will look around and see that the ones who once dismissed you, the ones who turned their backs or rolled their eyes, are no longer part of your journey. Not because you pushed them out with bitterness, but because your path outgrew their smallness. And it's not pride that leads you forward. It's peace. a peace that comes from knowing you didn't have to stoop to their level to find your place, a peace that grows in the soil of consistent character and quiet courage, and when others come along, those who are weary from their own battles with disrespect, they will find strength in your example, not because you shouted louder or fought harder, but because you walked taller, because you carried yourself with grace when you had every reason not to. You became a shelter, a safe place, a reminder that it is possible to live without letting the darkness in. That's not just strength, that's legacy. Let your life be the kind that confuses the proud and comforts the broken. Let your presence be steady, not because life is easy, but because you have chosen to plant your feet on truth. And truth does not change with people's opinions. It does not rise and fall with their moods. It is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when you build your life on that, no amount of disrespect can shake what you stand on. So hold your head high, not out of arrogance, but out of assurance. Assurance that your worth is not up for debate, that your value is not determined by those who fail to see it. You were created with purpose. You were formed with intention, and you are here to live out that purpose, not in spite of the disrespect, but rising through it, with grace, with fire, with peace. So what do you do when people don't respect you? You rise above it. You don't let their darkness dim your light. You walk in truth, you stand in grace, and you hold your ground with quiet strength. You forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to carry the weight of their ignorance. You love not because it's easy, but because it's powerful. And you keep moving forward, not for their approval, but because you were made for more. Respect may not always be given, but dignity is never taken. It's lived. And when you choose to live that way, nothing and no one can take that from you.